Why do older adults wake up at 3 a.m.? 5 honest reasons. Explained. Have you ever found yourself waking up around 3 a.m., eyes wide open, wondering why your body decided to hit the reset button in the middle of the night? You're not alone. Many older adults experience this early morning awakening, sometimes nightly, and it can feel both frustrating and puzzling. In this video, we're going to explore 5 genuine, science-backed reasons why so many older adults wake up around 3 a.m. Not vague guesses or quick tips. These are deep-rooted changes tied to the biology of aging, the psychology of life transitions, and even your emotional landscape. By the end of this video, you might not just understand why this is happening. You may begin to look at your sleep, your health, and your inner rhythms in a whole new way. Let's get started. Reason number 1, your body's melatonin factory slows down. Let's begin with melatonin, sometimes called the sleep hormone. When you're younger, your brain pumps out melatonin like clockwork, especially in the evening, helping you fall asleep and stay asleep through the night. But as we age, melatonin production naturally declines. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's just part of the body's aging process. And while you may fall asleep just fine, that dip in melatonin in the early hours, often around 2 or 3 a.m., may not be enough to keep you in dreamland. Think of it like a dimming lantern. It shines bright at bedtime, but by the middle of the night, it flickers and fades, leaving your brain more vulnerable to waking up, even without a noise, a thought, or a dream pulling you out of sleep. And here's the kicker. As we age, we also become more sensitive to our environment. Even tiny amounts of light, a digital clock, a street lamp sneaking through the curtains, can further disrupt what little melatonin your body is still making. Consider someone like Ruth, who's 74. She noticed she was waking up at 3:10 a.m. almost every night. No stress, no nightmares, just awake. Once she learned about melatonin's role, she made a few gentle changes. She dimmed the lights in the evening, turned off her phone an hour before bed, and started wearing a soft sleep mask. It didn't fix everything overnight, but the consistency helped her stay asleep longer and gave her a sense of peace about what was happening. Understanding this one shift, the quiet fading of melatonin, can help you stop blaming yourself and start working with your body's changes, not against them. Reason number 2, your internal clock is running ahead. As the years go by, your internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm, doesn't just slow down, it shifts forward. This is a well-documented phenomenon called advanced sleep phase syndrome. In simpler terms, you get sleepy earlier in the evening, and you naturally wake up earlier in the morning. So if you find yourself dozing off during the evening news and waking up at 3 a.m., feeling like you've had a full night's sleep, well, maybe you have, at least by your body's new timetable. This shift often goes unnoticed until retirement or quieter years set in. Without the anchors of a strict work schedule, evening obligations, or daily routines, your body listens more to its internal cues than the clock on the wall. For instance, Joe, a 69-year-old retired teacher, noticed he was ready for bed by 8:30 every night and wide awake by 3:30 a.m. At first, he fought it. He tried forcing himself to stay in bed longer. But once he realized his rhythm had shifted, he adjusted gently. A bit of stretching in the evening, a calming audiobook, and a later dinner helped delay sleep just enough to wake closer to sunrise. The goal isn't to fight your body's rhythm, but to understand it and gently guide it when needed. Reason number 3, subtle discomfort wakes you up before you realize it. By the time we reach our 60s or 70s, it's rare to find someone who doesn't deal with at least one form of physical discomfort, whether it's joint pain, an overactive bladder, indigestion, or even dry mouth. These minor nuisances can feel like major interruptions when they strike in the stillness of night. You may not consciously feel pain or pressure as you sleep, but your brain registers it and wakes you up to do something about it. That's why 3 a.m. becomes such a common hour for awakening. It's far enough into your sleep cycle that discomfort has had time to build. Let's take Doris, for example. She's 71 and has mild arthritis. During the day, she doesn't notice it much, but lying in the same position for hours puts pressure on her hips. Her body nudges her awake, not with pain, but with restlessness. A simple change, like using a body pillow to support her joints, helped her rest more deeply without that early morning disruption. The same goes for nighttime trips to the bathroom. As the bladder ages, it holds less, and the urgency to urinate increases. Even if you try to fall back asleep afterward, that brief interruption often leaves you too alert to drift off again. If you're on medications, some of those may have stimulating effects or interfere with the body's natural rhythm as well. It's worth reviewing your prescriptions with a doctor if you're waking often. Sometimes the path to better sleep isn't about sleep itself. It's about easing the discomfort that's quietly pulling you from it. Reason number 4, emotional undercurrents. Surfacing at night, sleep isn't just a physical process, it's deeply emotional too. As we grow older, our nights often become quieter, our routines slower, and our minds more reflective. Waking up at 3 a.m. can sometimes be the moment your brain chooses to process the thoughts and feelings you've been too busy or too tired to deal with during the day. You may think of loved ones who've passed. You may replay an old memory or wonder about a decision made long ago. Or perhaps you feel something less tangible, a soft ache of loneliness or a quiet fear about the future. This isn't a flaw, it's part of being human. And when life slows down, our inner world often grows louder, especially in the silence of night. Let me tell you about Evelyn. She's 76 and widowed. After her husband passed, she began waking up around 3 a.m. and staying awake for hours. At first, she assumed it was her sleep pattern. But then she realized those early hours were when the grief came. She wasn't broken. She was remembering. What helped her wasn't a pill or a routine, but permission. Permission to sit with her feelings. She began journaling in the mornings, lighting a candle, and giving space to what was on her heart. Eventually, her body settled too. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m. with your thoughts spinning or your heart feeling heavy, you're not alone. Your mind may simply be trying to heal, and it's choosing the only time it has your full attention. Reason number 5, a life less structured, a rhythm less anchored. Finally, one of the most overlooked reasons for waking up early is the natural loss of structure that can come with aging. Without a job to wake up for, kids to care for, or appointments to keep, the daily anchors that used to shape your sleep-wake cycle can fade. Your internal rhythm becomes unmoored, floating in a sea of time that feels a little endless. This lack of external cues, like a morning alarm or evening commute, can disrupt your circadian rhythm without you even realizing it. Your body thrives on rhythm, and when that rhythm is missing, it can drift. Take Bernard, for instance. At 73, his days were peaceful but aimless. No set bedtime, no morning plans, and no real need to get going. Unsurprisingly, his sleep became unpredictable too. Sometimes he'd wake at 2 a.m., other times at 4:30, with no real pattern. So Bernard started adding small anchors, a walk at 8 a.m., tea and reading at 9 p.m., and a weekly class at the senior center. These gentle guideposts gave his body a sense of routine again, and slowly his sleep became more stable. It's not about packing your schedule, it's about creating meaningful moments that help your body know where it is in time. A gentle closing thought. If you've made it this far, I want you to know, waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean your body is failing or that something is wrong with you. It may be your body speaking to you in a quieter language, a language of hormones, rhythms, sensations, and sometimes emotions. The good news? With awareness and gentle adjustments, you can create a sleep environment and a life rhythm that works in harmony with the person you are today not the person you were 20 years ago. So next time you find yourself awake in the dark, remember, it's not always a problem to be fixed. Sometimes it's an invitation to listen, to adapt, and to honor